Habari Gani, Mainduga na Dada. This is your brother, your elder, General Abu Amin Ra. My brothers and sisters, what we really need to do, we need to come together, organize ourselves into a unit, get some favorable and qualified attorneys to represent us, and take our case before the United Nations and charge the United States with genocide against our people. My brothers and sisters, I would like to utilize some information provided by Dr. LeRon Bennett in his book, Before the Mayflower. And I quote, "There were 64 lynchings in 1918 and 83 in 1919. More disturbing than the number was the increase in sadism of the mobs. The Mary Turner lynchings of 1918 was undoubtedly one of the most barbaric acts ever committed in a civilized society. Though pregnant, the Negro woman was lynched in Valdosta, Georgia. She was hanged to a tree, doused with gasoline and motor oil, and burned. As she dangled from the rope, a man stepped forward with a pocket knife and ripped open her abdomen in a crude cesarean operation. Out tumbled the prematurely born child. The feeble child cries is grave and received for answer the heel of a stalwart man as life was grounded out of the tiny form. The next year, 11 Negroes were burned alive in 6 states. Then, before the returning veterans could reach their breath, America erupted in the Red Summer of 1919. 26 race riots marred the beauty of that summer. The biggest riots were in Washington, Chicago, Omaha, Knoxville, Longview, Texas, and Phillips County, Arkansas. 6 persons were killed and 150 were wounded as the Washington riots between whites and 23 Negroes were killed. In the Chicago riots, 537 were injured. In Omaha, Nebraska, a white mob lynched and burned a Negro, hanged the mayor who tried to prevent the lynchings, and burned down the new county courthouse. There was a new dimension in these riots. They were not one-way massacres. Some were in fact wars. Negroes fought back, and some whites as well as some Negroes were killed. Some people found this fact exhilarating. A Washington, D.C. woman exploded with fierce joy where Negro men in that city took up guns in defense of their homes. She flung herself on the bed and flailed the pillows with her hands and cried out, "They are fighting, they are fighting, they are defending us." During the dying days of the second decade of the 20th century, 2 Jamaican-born Negroes viewed the American scene with increasing horror. The Red Summer of 1919 stirred poet Claude McClay to a passionate sonnet of despair. I quote, "If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs. making their mark of our accursed lot. If we must die, oh, let us nobly die. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows, deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pact, pressed to the wall, dying, but fighting back. My brothers and sisters, listen. We must charge them with genocide. It is reported by most historians that for every black person, African person that was kidnapped or bought in Africa and transported down those tracks to those ships, across the ocean in the cargo holds of those cargo ships, that for everyone who landed in America, 3 had died. So my brothers and sisters, most of the historians who are neither leftists nor rightists, but try to land their program, their message in the middle, claim 20 million Africans were sent out of Africa and arrived in the United States of America during what is termed the Atlantic slave trade. So if this be the case, we must have lost on those treks down to those ships where we sold our ancestors, and some of our ancestors sold us. But those of us who were captured and were put on a ship, and incidentally one ship named the Good Ship Jesus, and we were shipped across those angry seas. Some of us jumped overboard by hatred of our capture. Some were thrown overboard because they were sick, and the insurance company did not cover those who died of sickness. But we evidently lost around 75 million people on the ships and on the treks through the wilderness until we landed in the United States of America. 75 to 100 million people lost, gone, in the bush or in the oceans, in the belly of the sharks. There's never been a Holocaust recorded in human history that extended to this extent, with hatred and racism embedded within. So my brothers and sisters, we must stand and demand reparations for what they did to us, what they broke in us, and what they stole from us. Once again, y'all, my brothers and sisters, peace and hotep to you.